So today, we have such an exciting episode as I'm going to show you how to make 4 amazing Spanish tapas that are perfect for any time of the year, but they're extra special during the holidays because they have such a beautiful presentation. Now the beauty of these tapas is that we're going to serve them over pieces of toast, which is known as a pincho in Spain, making it so much easier to eat them and perfect for large get-togethers. Folks, we're talking a ton of Spanish flavors, effortless to put together, and if you serve these tapas next to a bottle of Spanish wine, well, you're going to have yourself an instant trip to beautiful España. This video is sponsored by Tienda.com. La Tienda is an online superstore focusing on selling all things Spain for your home and kitchen, and they've been around since 1996. And like I always tell you, they have the biggest selection of artisan Spanish ingredients, like queso manchego, the famous jamón serrano and jamón ibérico, Marcona almonds, olives, the beautiful canned seafood from Spain, and all the spices you need to make all your favorite Spanish recipes, among so many other great ingredients. And let me tell you, when it comes to cookware, they have an amazing selection of authentic Spanish paella pans that range in size from 2 servings all the way up to 50 servings. And they even offer classic grilling systems, that way you can always perfectly cook your paella. Folks, visit Tienda.com, let them know Albert from Spain on a Fork sent you there, and make sure you use coupon code on a fork during checkout for 10% off your order. Alright, let's begin by cutting a baguette into diagonal slices that are 2 centimeters thick, which is about 3/4 of an inch. To make these tapas dishes, you can use whatever type of thick, crusty bread you like. It's just baguette is what's typically used in Spain. Then we'll add the slices into a baking tray, all in a single layer, and then into a preheated oven, 200 degrees Celsius, which is about 400 degrees Fahrenheit. And we're going to leave them there for about 5 minutes, that way they can lightly crisp up. Okay, let's start making our recipes. For our first tapas dish, we're making patatas alioli con pimentón picante. This dish is basically boiled potatoes that are smothered in a garlic mayo alioli and then topped off with hot smoked paprika. Let's begin by cutting 2 medium-sized potatoes that have already been peeled, washed, and patted dry, each into small bite-sized pieces that are 1/2 inch thick, which is about 1.25 centimeters. Then we'll add the potatoes into a large saucepan and fill it with some water, just enough to barely cover the potatoes. Then we'll season generously with sea salt and heat it with a high heat. After about 15 minutes, those potatoes should be perfectly cooked through. You know, you can always pierce them with a toothpick, and if it easily goes in there, but with some resistance, they are ready. You don't want to overboil the potatoes, otherwise they can easily start to fall apart. At this point, I'm going to remove them from the heat, drain them into a colander, and rinse them under some cold water. This is going to stop the potatoes from cooking, as well as ensure that they cool off a lot faster. While the water's draining in the potatoes, let's make our garlic mayo alioli. I'm going to add in 1/2 cup of mayonnaise into a large bowl. This is about 120 grams. Finely grate in 2 cloves of garlic. As always, if you don't have a grater, you can just finely mince the garlic. Squeeze in 1 teaspoon of fresh lemon juice, which is 5 milliliters. And drizzle in 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil, which is 15 milliliters. Then we'll season with a kiss of sea salt and freshly cracked black pepper. And we'll whisk it together until we end up with a beautiful creamy sauce. Once the potatoes are cool enough to handle, we'll add them into the bowl with the alioli. And we'll gently mix it until all the potatoes are coated in that sauce. To assemble the dish, we'll add in a couple spoonfuls of the mixture over some slices of toast. Top each one off with a kiss of hot smoked Spanish paprika and some chopped fresh chives. Check it out, our first tapas dish is done. Patatas alioli con pimentón picante. Easy to make, the simplest ingredients, and all done in under 30 minutes. Alright, let's move on to our second tapas recipe. We're making Banto Tomate con anchoas. This is basically fresh tomatoes. They're flavored with extra virgin olive oil and garlic. And then you top it off with an anchovy for the perfect balance of goodness. Let's begin by finely grating 3 fresh tomatoes into a bowl. For this recipe, I'm using tomatoes on the vine, but you can use whatever tomatoes you like. We'll also finely grate in 1 clove of garlic And drizzle in 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil, which once again is 15 milliliters. Then we'll season with sea salt and freshly cracked black pepper. And whisk it together until it's well mixed. Then we'll grab spoonfuls of the mixture and add it over a couple pieces of toast. For the next step, we'll crack open a jar of anchovies. This is the same thing as the canned ones. Gently remove them and then add them over the slices of toast. And for the final touch, we'll sprinkle it with some chopped fresh parsley. Check it out, pan con tomate y anchoas. Effortless to put together, absolutely no cooking, and the kind of food that's gonna fill you with so much goodness. Alright, moving on to our third tapas dish, we're making queso manchego con miel y romero. This is basically slices of the famous Spanish manchego cheese that are topped off with honey and rosemary for a blast of sweet and savory goodness. Let's begin by cutting a couple of thin slices from a block of manchego cheese. The one that I'm using has been aged for 6 months. You'll find a link where you can get it in the description box below. And make sure to cut the slices into smaller pieces. That way they perfectly sit over the toast. Then we'll drizzle each toast with a kiss of honey, and a sprinkle of dried rosemary. Check it out, our third tapas dish is done. Queso manchego con miel y romero. Truly the easiest recipe ever, but the combination of these ingredients, explosion of so much goodness. Okay, we made it to our fourth and final tapas dish. We're making gambas al ajillo con pimientos del piquillo. This is basically sauteed garlic shrimp with roasted red bell peppers. Let's begin by heating a fry pan with a medium heat and adding in 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, which is 30 milliliters. While the oil is heating, I'm going to thinly slice 4 cloves of garlic, thinly slice 2 jarred roasted red bell peppers. You'll find a link where you can get the Spanish ones I'm using in the description box below. And we'll add 12 raw jumbo shrimp over some paper towels and pat them completely dry. For this recipe, I'm using red Argentinian shrimp that I already bought peeled and deveined and frozen and thawed out, but you can use whatever shrimp you like. And we'll season them with sea salt and freshly cracked black pepper. Okay, let's move back to the fry pan. Once that olive oil is nice and hot, we'll add in the sliced garlic, and we'll mix it around continuously, that way it evenly sautés. After about 30 seconds, and that garlic is nice and fragrant, you don't want to brown it, we'll add in the shrimp into the pan, and you want to make sure they're all in a single layer. And we're going to go for 1 minute per side here, or until the shrimp are fully cooked through. After about 2 minutes, and the shrimp are beautifully cooked through, we'll add in half a teaspoon of sweet smoked Spanish paprika, which is 1.25 grams, and our sliced roasted red bell peppers. Then we'll give it a quick mix until everything's well mixed together. Then we'll remove the pan from the heat and add spoonfuls of the mixture over some slices of toast. And for the final touch, we'll garnish with fresh parsley. Check it out, our fourth and final tapas dish is done. Gambas al ajillo con pimientos del piquillo. Very easy to make, such a beautiful presentation, and all done in about 15 minutes. Let's give these tapas a try and see how they turned out. You saw it, folks, 4 very amazing Spanish tapas, all of them very easy to make and filled with so much Spanish goodness. Let's give one of them a try and see how it turned out. Where do I go from here? They all look amazing. I'm going to try the pan con tomate con anchoas, the tomato and anchovy. Here we go. Absolutely delicious. So simple but so good. No, let me finish this. You know, it's so important to lightly toast the bread in the oven. That once you add the ingredients on there, it doesn't get mushy. You saw this, folks, easy to make, such simple ingredients. Again, the perfect tapas dishes for any time of the year, but extra special during the holidays because of that beautiful presentation. Real quick before I go, a shout out to a couple of my patrons, Emily Hamilton, Manuel J. Rosales, David Houston, and Britt Saunders. Again, guys, thank you so much for being patrons of Spain on a Fork. You know how much I appreciate you. If you enjoyed today's video, hit that like button. Leave me a comment below, and if you're not subscribed, don't forget to smash that subscribe button and click on the bell icon. That way you can get notified every time I release new content and to become a part of the Spain on a Fork family. Till the next time, hasta luego.